You were in my dream last night, again. I wrote about it, and I'm gonna read it to you. It was a recurring dream I had at least once about 6 months ago. I think I've been there twice before. One time was very brief. The other I remember clearly to this day. Last night I ended up at this place. I was meeting a man. He was seeking relationship with me. In the real world, his name is Mitch. In the dream, we had met long enough to exchange numbers. We met in the dream world many months ago. He was seeking to rent a place on this magic property. I happened to be there when some of the workers of the land were showing him around. He wore a tight-fitting dark maroon sweater that showed his lean, muscular physique. I was drawn to his kindness and stoic nature, he to my kindness and gentleness. He asked me for my info, and then we went different ways. He was there this time for a date at the house he ended up renting. I arrived in the magic realm at his door. He let me in, but was hiding. I couldn't see him clearly at first. As time went on, we chatted and he showed me around, slowly revealing himself. He was becoming a trans woman before my eyes. I did not judge him and was accepting. He showed me how very well hung he was, but he was sitting like a woman. I became uncomfortable and began to seek the outdoors. The beauty of this land was unlike anything here. It was tropical but cool in the air. The vegetation was a perfectly manicured jungle, wild, free, lush, but not overgrown, and nothing crowding each other. It was full of ponds, lagoons, rivers, of a blue water so clear you could drink it. A blue like the sky with no clouds and a place without pollution, but it glowed aqua in color. I had to wade in. You could step into the first pool from the back deck, a white deck of wood with slightly cracking paint from age, but sturdy and secure, and the architecture was not of here. Mitch warned me, "You can go in, but there are creatures. They never know what the creatures will do, so it might not be safe. Some people go in and it's fine. Some do and it's not, or so they say. I've never been in," he said. I was going. There was no stopping me, but to me it was safe. The whole place felt like you and my aura. The safest I've ever been. I began talking to the water beast with my first step. The second my toes touched the water, he knew me and was watching, sensing, calculating. I was naked, though I had not been before, and did not remove my clothes. The water was bliss, tickled and licked my skin, cool, refreshing, like the first of anything that brings pleasure, but innocent. It sought not to stimulate me, just to be what it is. I told the beast, "You cannot harm me. I do not give you consent. I bring you no harm, and I love you with all that I am." It flinched. It had never heard sovereignty and love like that before. I repeated time and again, "I love you. You do not have consent. I love you." I spent time in the water exploring the pools. The green leaves around me reached out to touch me as I passed them by. They all loved me. Ever present was my watcher on the edge of the pool, camouflaged in the foliage beneath liquid cool perfection. It was huge and mincing, but calm and assured. It never intended to strike, but it could not leave my side. Captivated by my love and peace, I became the apple of its eye. I played and laughed and giggled and talked to all the living things there, splashing the water, feeling my breasts float, a child at play. Then, in less than a moment, so quick time cannot account, it changed. A toddler with an infant's joy waddled into the water. Its disturbance alerted my guard, and it lashed to protect me without hesitation. It struck the child open-mouthed. and the very second it was attacked itself, some sort of magic killed it. A heart-wrenching sound. The beast screamed an ungodly wail. It was dead before me, floating on top of the perfect still pool. I died with it. On my knees, I began to wail. How could you? How could you? How could you kill such a perfect and innocent being? What was its wrongdoing? The workers were there when before afar. Attempting to appease me, I was ready to kill to take vengeance for the unrighteous slaying. Their words rang through my torment. It was a child, we had to, it was a child. They were holding the toddler unharmed. It had skin very white, not a scratch on it, but its body had changed inside, aware they had saved its life. Then, from out of the big house across the way came you and a woman, rushing. Furious, you knew the beast was gone, your anger unrelenting. How had something you loved been taken without just cause? You blamed at first, your eyes full of hatred, but you kept looking and my eyes told you the truth. Devastation internally. We felt the same. The woman was screaming, placing cruelty. She was pretty, not pretty. Like her looks did not last, dried up like an old orange peel. Her body was hardened, no longer supple and soft. But she had become brittle by choice. Immediately, I went into the depths, calling on all of my magic. The water swirled round me, the corpse of the beast lifted up. I told Creator it could not be so and requested, commanded a rebirth. I would not let it go. I would not take no. I refused to allow this innocence passing. The I Am granted me permission, and we restored the Water King to its health. Your eyes still glaring, you never took your gaze off me. I cared not. The precious beast was alive, and in that moment another creature arrived from above. Floating, it flew down. It too had been wounded during the attack. It had a body like a snake, but covered in all white feathers and fur like a rabbit. Blood spots from its gouges contrasting horribly from the rest of its color. Oh, it was hurting. The pain in my gut cut to my bones. I began again my magic, holding its head gently across my chest. You stepped forward, aching the same pains, holding the rest of the perfect being. Your eyes had softened, begging, please, could I do it again? Please, can I save this one too? This one wasn't an instant healing. It would take time, but my magic ensured its full recovery, though tenderness and care were in order for quite some time. You took it to your house and settled it in for safekeeping, then stared out the window watching me glaring. Though your heart was not hard, it had been burst open, and now you and the water beast watched me from the edges. I was safer than I ever knew. Both of you my keepers. I woke, barely breathing in my bed. I love going to that place. When I went before, I felt you, but had never seen you. This time you showed yourself. I didn't sleep again for a while, but I felt you and kept flashing back to the dreams.